What if I told you that the very foundation of what you've been taught about manifestation is a lie? And if it's not an outright lie, it's a sugar coated half truth. And your idea of manifestation that you hold in your mind is actually keeping you stuck in a cycle of wanting, trying, and failing to get what you think that you want. If you have been vision boarding and affirming and visualizing for months or for years and you're still broke, you're still single, you're still waiting for your life to change, this video is going to completely and flip your understanding of how reality actually works. Because what I'm about to share isn't just some spiritual, new agey, feel good, fluffy stuff. It is based in universal law, and once you understand how the laws that govern this reality actually work and how that applies to intentional reality creation, you'll never approach manifestation in the same way again. So, hi, I'm Angela. Welcome to my channel. I'm a relationship and embodiment mentor for women. I work with women who know there's more to life than meets the eye, but they're not quite sure how to get there. I used to be completely addicted. I was addicted to drugs, to people, to playing the victim in my own story. And all of that changed in 2019 when I decided I was done living that way. I got sober and I dove headfirst into personal and spiritual transformation. Since then, I've been obsessed with understanding how reality actually works, the metaphysics behind why some people create the life they want and why others stay stuck in cycles of wanting and disappointment and frustration. And I've been working with women since 2022, first through courses on earth magic and manifestation, and then in private transformational coaching. And so this channel is the newest evolution of that work, where I help women master love and life by mastering themselves first. I'm uploading some of my most effective processes right here on YouTube. So if you're ready to stop chasing and start creating, you're in the right place. I also have a Facebook community where I do regular Q&As and offer more personalized support. The link is below if you feel called to join us. And if you're ready to go deeper, my paid mentorship is all about reality creation through self-concept, through embodiment and identity work. So, because the truth is, you can't create a life that you love from the version of yourself that you haven't fallen in love yet. So the links to everything are below. Now that we got that out of the way, let's dive in. So in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to break down why traditional manifestation techniques keep you stuck in wanting, what manifestation actually is, and it's not what you think, the 3 realms of creation that govern all of reality, how to manifest that specific person, but only if you don't need them to be happy, and the universal laws that make all of this work. But here's your warning. This is going to challenge everything that you think you know about getting what you want. If you're attached to the idea that manifestation is about getting stuff from the outside world, then this is going to be uncomfortable. But if you're ready for the truth, then keep watching. So let me start by telling you what manifestation is not. Manifestation is not sitting around visualizing a specific person texting you. It's not writing 55 times 5 affirmations about your ex coming back. It's not putting their picture under your pillow or doing moon rituals to make them fall in love with you. Although I love spell work and I taught it for a very long time, that's not what we're talking about. We have to understand, and this will make your magic more powerful too, when you understand how reality really works. All of that stuff is great, it's powerful. But the truth is that when we do those things without coming from the identity that we need to come from and from the level of awareness and consciousness, the frequency, the self-concept that is necessary to create the thing, it becomes manipulation. It becomes trying to control outcomes in the physical world. And it doesn't work consistently because you're operating from the wrong understanding of how reality is actually structured. So here's what the manifestation industry has sold you. They market, right? They took what they knew about universal law and they turned it into something that was marketable, something that people desired and that they wanted. If people heard that they had to do work or that they had to change who they were, no one would have been interested, right? So they've told you that you can think really hard about something out there and then somehow the universe will deliver it to you like some cosmic Amazon order. But that's not manifestation. That's marketing. That's taking ancient universal principles and turning them into get-rich-quick schemes and love spells, which I was never a fan of. But real manifestation, and I mean the kind that actually works consistently, has nothing to do with getting stuff from outside of you. It has everything to do with becoming the version of yourself that already has what you want. Every time I get on a video or on a live, I feel like someone's tickling my nose with like, ugh, I guess I'll have to do some self-concept work around that, my itchy face. So then, then what is manifestation really? Manifestation is what you experience when you make your inner world match the outer world you want to experience. Let me say that again. My definition of manifestation is what you experience when you make your inner world match the outer world that you want to experience. So it's crucial. It is not about getting the person, the money, or the things. What you really want, what you've always wanted, is to experience the version of yourself that you think you'll have when you have those things. So how you'll feel, the freedom you'll have, the emotions, what experiences that you'll be able to have. That's what you really want, right? It's not the money, it's not the person. It's the safety, it's the security, it's the emotions, the feeling of love, the feeling of being chosen. It's with money, it's safety, security, having more than enough, freedom, right? You don't want the guy. You want to experience yourself as chosen, loved, secure, and worthy. You don't want the money. You want to experience yourself as abundant, free, and powerful. You don't want the job. You want to experience yourself as successful, valued, and purposeful. And the only way to get there, the only sustainable and consistent way, is to manifest your own becoming. So you have to become that version of yourself first, internally, before it can appear externally. And here's why this changes everything. If you're trying to manifest something because you think you need it to be happy, you're operating from lack. You're literally telling the universe, I don't have this. I need this to be complete. And lack can only create more lack. But when you become the person who already has what you want internally, you're operating from wholeness. You're not trying to get something to fill a void. You're expressing who you already are. And then reality will mirror that back to you. It has to. It's law. So let me break this down for you. And I wish I had one of those whiteboards. I'm going to eventually wind up doing that. But let me tell you how reality actually works. Because once you understand this, everything changes. There are 3 realms of creation. You have the mental realm, the spiritual realm, and the physical realm. Now, some people call this the mind, body, and soul. Others may call them the heart, the brain, and the gut. The labels don't matter. What matters is understanding how they work together. So the first universal law that you need to understand is the law of mentalism. This is the Hermetic principles, the 7 Hermetic principles. This law states that all is mind, the universe is mental, and what that means is everything you see, touch, taste, and smell in the physical realm is an effect. There are no causes in the physical world. Every single thing in physical reality was first created in the unseen, in the mental and the spiritual realms. The unseen is the cause, and only a cause can create an effect. So if you want to change your outer world, it must first come from the mind. You must shift your internal world and create it mentally first. But here's the thing where this is where most people get stuck, right? They try to create in the mental realm while being attached to a specific outcome in the physical realm. Now, that attachment keeps them in lack, keeps them in the not having, in the identity of the one who hasn't made it yet. And this just creates resistance. This is what holds most people back. They haven't figured out how to give it to themselves internally first, how to become the one that has it anyway, right? We're always looking in the external world. The money's not here yet. The person isn't here yet. It is not going the way I want it to go. And we really have to detach from seeing it in the outside world before we create it internally. And it's not easy, but it is simple. So let's talk about the law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect is the second law that you want to understand here. This governs the entire process. The cause happens in the unseen realms, right? In your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions, and your internal state. Who you think you are, your self-concept, and your paradigm, your view of the world and how you think it works, your beliefs. The effect appears in the physical world. Your circumstances, your relationship, and your experiences begin to change based on the changes that you make internally. So most people are trying to change the effect without addressing the cause. They're trying to get to the person to text them back instead of becoming the person who naturally attracts that kind of attention. They're trying to get money instead of becoming abundant internally first. So how to actually manifest, including that person? How do we actually do this? So first, you have to get really clear on what it is that you really want. Not the person, not the thing, but the experience of yourself that you think having that will give you or having them will give you. So let's say you want to manifest your ex back, right? Ask yourself, what do I think I'll experience when they choose me again? Maybe it's feeling loved, chosen, secure, worthy. Those are your real desires. Now here's the key. You have to give those to yourself first. You have to experience them within yourself first without needing the person to provide them. So how do you feel loved? You start loving yourself that way. How do you feel when you feel chosen? You start choosing yourself in every decision. How do you feel secure? You start creating that safety and security within yourself first. And so, yes, we have to change. We have to become the person who naturally experiences the love, the chosenness, and the security, regardless of what anyone else does or says or behaves, or what the bank account looks like, or what your circumstances look like. And here's what happens when you do this. You stop operating from lack. You stop being desperate. You stop chasing, and you start embodying the energy of someone who already has what they want. And that energy, that internal state of wholeness and abundance is what creates the external circumstances that match it. But here's the crucial part. You can't do this to get the person, or to get the money, or to get the job, or whatever it is. You have to do this because it's who you're choosing to be, period. You have to want to become this version of yourself. The moment you make it about getting them back, getting the money, getting the job, whatever it is that you want, you're back in manipulation mode. You manifest by becoming, not by wanting. Now, when you embody this energy consistently across all three realms, when your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions are all aligned with being the person who has what you want, the physical world rearranges itself to match your internal reality. Reality is a multidimensional mirror that reflects back to you your state of being, your frequency, your self-concept, your paradigm, who you believe you are and how you believe things work. Those words are all interchangeable. Frequency, self-concept, they're the same thing. So sometimes that means the person comes back and shows up in your life. Sometimes it means someone even better shows up. Sometimes it means you realize you don't actually want them anymore because you've outgrown that version of yourself that wanted to be with them. But you can't be attached to which one happens. Your job is to become. The universe's job is to deliver the how and in what way is most aligned for you to receive it. So the universal laws in action. I'm going to give you a practical breakdown of how to work with these laws. So step 1, mental creation. Get clear on who you're becoming, not what you're getting. Create a detailed internal experience of being that person. How do they think? How do they feel? How do they move through the world? What do they believe? What do they not believe? What thoughts do they not accept anymore? What identity do they refuse to be now? Because I'm going to tell you the truth right here and now. It's a decision. You decide, and then when your mind tries to pull you back into the old identity, you have to catch yourself. Nope, that's not who I am anymore. I'm this. That's how it works. And yes, it may take some practice. The old identity, your old self, those old thoughts, those old beliefs, they're going to be persistent. They're going to trick you with fear. They're going to trick you with, this is crazy and I'm losing my mind, or I'm going to lose my personality and all this other nonsense. It's not true. It is not true. You cannot master reality until you master yourself. Step 2. This is the embodiment piece, right? Start feeling those emotions now. Start experiencing those states now. Not when you get the thing, now. Feel abundant now. Feel loved now. Feel chosen now. Step 3. The physical realm alignment. So you want to take actions that align with who you're becoming. If you're becoming someone who's loved and chosen, how would they treat themselves? What would their standards be? What would they accept and not accept from others? What would they entertain and not entertain? Would they be sitting there wondering how come the person hasn't texted back, or how come they haven't committed yet, or how come there's not money in the bank account yet? No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't, because they already have those things. So anything that doesn't align with that version of you has to go. It has to start being ignored until it atrophies. It has to start being pushed to the back burner and told, okay, but that's not who I am anymore. So how do they spend their time? How would they show up in the world? Would they be waiting? No, because they already have it, right? Also, it would feel normal to them, right? It's not going to feel like the most exciting day on earth when they get a text from that person, or when a payment goes into their bank account, right? Because they're going to be like, of course they texted me. Of course a payment went into my bank account, because that's just who they are. And it has to be that way, that you've given it to yourself so completely that it's just like, of course I get that, because that's who I am. So the key is that all of these realms have to be in alignment, right? The mental, the physical, the spiritual. And you can't think abundant thoughts while feeling lack. And taking actions of broke people, being afraid of being upset when you pay a bill, or, chasing attention, trying to talk someone into spending time with you, trying to talk the guy into being ready for a relationship before he's ready, like whatever that might look like for you. You can't be two people at once. You can't be the old person and be the new person at the same time. And so this is the hardest part of it all, is letting go of the old version. But we forget we forget that we can decide. We can be new, brand new right now in any moment. In any moment, we decide. If I decide I'm going to be brand new right now, and who I am in the past doesn't matter anymore. Whatever happened to me in the past doesn't matter anymore. What I thought I had available to me 5 minutes ago is no longer valid. You get to decide. There are actually studies on this. People who have had brain damage or brain injuries, and they have no recollection of who they were before. And then they're told who they are now, and they act as that person, and they have lived vastly different lives. People with multiple personalities as well. There's been studies on this too, where one personality will be blind, like legally blind, and they barely can see. And when they shift to another personality, which is the same body, the same vessel, all of a sudden they can see. Why is that? It's identity. It's all about identity. So remember, you can't visualize being loved while hating yourself and acting desperate. You can't need the thing to happen to show up before you create it for yourself. You have to create it for yourself first. You have to be able to give it to yourself when you can't see it. You have to be able to believe that you're worthy of it and that you're the one that belongs with it before you ever see it. Because manifestation happens when your mental, spiritual, and physical realms are all expressing the same reality. And here's the beautiful part. When you're operating this way, you're not trying to get anything from anyone. You're not manipulating outcomes. You are simply being who you choose to be and allowing that reality to reflect that back to you. This is how you can manifest that specific person or that person who makes this amount of money by becoming so whole and so abundant within yourself that whatever happens, whether they show up or not, whether the money comes or not, it becomes completely irrelevant to your happiness. Because here's the paradox, and we have to get used to reconciling paradoxes if we want to master reality. The paradox is that's often when they do show up. That's when they show up when you don't need them to. That's when the money comes, when you're not telling yourself you need it or telling yourself why it's not coming or how this always happens to me. The bills come in and then the money never shows up in time, or I'm always abandoned. They always leave, or no one ever chooses me, or I'm not worthy, or every time money comes into my life, big bills show up and then I don't have anything for myself. When you let go of all of that and you don't need to have the thing or the person or the attention or whatever it might be to show up before you are perfectly okay without it, then you are operating in a place of wholeness and abundance and not lack. So I know that this is a lot, and I know that it's different from what you've probably been taught about manifestation, but this is not my opinion. This is universal law, and they've been operating since the beginning of time, and they work whether you understand them or not, right? You don't have to be taught to manifest. You have to change your self-concept and who you think you are and how you believe things work. Because that's what creates your reality. You've been creating it this whole time. And so in order to create something different, you have to be different. And so the difference is that when you understand the universal laws and how they work, you can work with them instead of against them. And so then you finally can stop struggling and start experiencing flow. So if you want to dive deeper into these laws, I have an entire series breaking down all 7 Hermetic principles in my Facebook community. The link is in the description. And if you want me to do a full YouTube series on these principles, let me know in the comments. But here's your homework. Pick one area of your life where you've been trying to get something from the outside world and ask yourself, what experience of myself am I really seeking? And how can I start giving that to myself right now? Remember, you don't get what you want. You become what you want, and then reality reflects that back to you. If this video has shifted something for you, then please let me know, and hang around. If you want me to continue to break down, I'm going to continue to break down the real laws of reality and how it works. We're not doing the marketing manifestation version. We're doing the reality version here. And I'll see you in the next video, where we'll dive even deeper into how to apply these principles into your daily life. I'll see you soon.